of limits, embrace divine wisdom, and discover the deeper power within your soul. Welcome back to the show. Today we're diving into a topic that has fascinated humanity since the beginning of time: spiritual awakening. If you ever felt like there has to be more to life than what you're currently experiencing, this episode is for you. If you ever questioned whether the person you are today is really who you're meant to be, keep listening. And if you are in the middle of something right now that feels like everything is falling apart, I want you to know you're exactly where you need to be. Now, before we go further, I need to clear something up. Spiritual awakening is not what most people think it is. It's not a floating cloud of bliss, feeling peaceful all the time, or having all the answers. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it often feels like you are losing your mind. But there's what I've come to understand: the mess is the point, the discomfort is the door, and losing your mind, at least the mind you built from everyone else's expectations, might be the best thing that ever happens to you. We're going to walk through these together today. From the first tearing of restlessness to the dark night of the soul, from the unraveling of everything you thought you knew to integration of you're actually becoming. And by the end, I hope you see the spiritual awakening is not something to fear, it's something to surrender to, something to trust, something to say yes to, even when you have the idea or no idea where it's leading. Here's what I want you to hold in your heart as we begin: you are not broken, you are not failing, you are too far gone or too lost or too late. You are waking up, and waking up is, as it turns out, is the most natural thing in the world. It's just the most of us has been asleep for so long that forget what waking up feels like. So let's wake up together. Let's explore what the journey actually looks like: the beauty and brutality, the grief and the grace. Let's pull back the curtain on spiritual awakening and see what really waiting on the other side. I promise you, it's worth it. And let's begin. Spiritual awakening almost always begin with restlessness you can't quite name. You have the job, the relationships, the routine. Everything looks fine on paper, but underneath it all, there's a whisper asking, is this it? Is this it? That whisper gets louder over time, demanding attention you don't want to give it. You distract yourself with the busyness, with entertainment, with anything that keeps you from still sitting long enough to hear what is saying. For some people, that whisperer eventually becomes a scream. A crisis hits, a loss, a betrayal, a health scare, a breakdown, and suddenly you can't ignore it anymore. The life you built, the identity you crafted, the story you have been telling yourself, it all shatters. And here's what's so strange. In the middle of shattering, they also relief. Because some part of you always knew this moment was coming. Some part of you always knew that the life you're living was not really yours. Think about where you believe come from. Your parents, your culture, your religion, your education, the expectations for everyone around you, and absorbed so deeply that you forgot that you were not your own. You built an identity based on what you were supposed to want, supposed to be, supposed to become. And then one day, that identity stops fitting, and you're left standing in the rubble, wondering who you actually are. This is the first tearing of awakening. This is the moment when your soul says, I'm ready for something real. It doesn't feel like a gift in the moment, it feels like disaster. But it's a gift. It's a gift of being disrupted out of a life that was never yours. So you can finally find the life that is. If you are in this place right now, here's what I need you to hear. Don't turn from it. Don't try glue the pieces back together. Let them fall. Let them scatter. What's coming next cannot be built on top of what was there before. You have to clear the ground first. And what's happening. Once the first tearing takes hold, the unraveling begins. And the unraveling is messy. Relationships that once felt essential start to feel hollow. People you known for years suddenly feel like strangers, or worse, like anchors, keeping you from moving forward. Some of these relationships will end, and it will hurt. But the hurt is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're making room for connections that are actually real. Your career might start to feel meaningless too. The work you said to pour yourself into, the goals you chase, the recognition you crave, it all starts to feel empty. You look at your to do list and think, why does any of this matter? And the truth is, more the perspective of your awakening self. It doesn't matter. Not the way it used to. You're starting to measure success differently now, and the old metrics don't apply anymore. Your body gets involved into unraveling too. You might feel exhausted all the time, and when you sleep enough, you might have mysterious aches and pains that doctors can explain. Your digestion might act up, your skin might break out, your immune systems might weaken. This is not your head, it's in your cells. You're literally integrating new energy, new awareness, and your body needs time to adjust. And then there's the loneliness. Not the loneliness of being alone, but the loneliness of being awake in a world of people who are still asleep. You try to explain what you're going through, and they look at you like you've lost your mind. So you stop explaining. You withdraw. You go inward, and in that inwardness, something begins to shift. The unraveling cannot be rushed or skipped or bypassed. It has to be felt fully and completely. It's purification by fire, burning away everything that is not real so that what's real can finally emerge. And emerging as it turns out takes time. Just when you think the unraveling is over, you enter the dark night of the soul. This is the phase where even the spiritual experiences dry up. The glimpse of higher consciousness, the moments of connection, the sense that you are on the right path, they all disappear. You reach out for something to hold on to, and there's nothing there, just silence, just void, just you and the questions you can no longer void. Is any of this real? Does anything matter? Is there actually a purpose? Or, well, just making it up as we go along? These questions are not academic, they're existential. They cut to the bone. And in the dark night, there are no easy answers. There's no confronting voice from the universe telling you to it's all going to be okay. There's just a silence pressing from all sides. But there's what the mystics have always known. The dark night is not the absence of the divine, it's the presence of the divine in a form so unfamiliar that you don't recognize. If you have only ever experienced God as the concept or believe as something you reach for, then the experience of God has the ground of your being will feel like nothing at first. Because there's nothing to reach for, nothing to grasp, nothing to prove in. You're so accustomed to striving that the absence of striving feels like emptiness. But it is not empty, it's full. It's full of presence so subtle, so pervasive that you cannot see it because it's what you were seeing with. You cannot touch it because it's what you are touching with. You cannot grasp it because it's what doing the grasping. And when you finally stop grasping, stop begging, stop trying to make something happen, you realize, and then you realize it was there all along. It was the breath in your lungs, the awareness behind every thought, the silence beneath every sound. It never left. You just could not feel because you were too busy looking. After the dark night comes integration. This is the phase where you start to rebuild, but not the way you built before. Before you built from the outside in, trying to match some external standard of success. Now you can build from the inside out, guided by what actually feels true. You ask different questions now, not what will impress people, but what makes me feel alive. Not what should I do, but who am I becoming? Integration is where you start bringing the piece of yourself back together in a new configuration. You don't have to abandon your old life entirely. You don't have to quit your job and move to an ashram. What you don't to start making different choices, smaller choices at first. Who you spend time with, how you spend your evenings, how what you consume, what you create. These choices accumulate, and over time, they reshape your life. You start notice that some things from your old life actually do fit, not because you're what you were supposed to want, but because they genuinely resonate with you becoming. And other things, you let them go, not with drama, not with resentment, but with gratitude. They serve with purpose. They taught you what you need to learn and how it's time to release them with love. Integration is a gentle compared to what come before. It's the long, slow work of becoming yourself. Not a perfected self, not enlightened self, just yourself. More honest, more present, more at home in your own skin. You start to trust yourself in a ways you never have before. You start to trust life itself. And in the trust, something shifts. You realize you're not trying to become someone else anymore. You're not trying to escape who you were. You're simply allowing yourself to be who you were always been, underneath all the layers of conditioning and fear. And that allowing, that simple, radical allowing, is everything. And then one day you realize something changed. You're still you. You still have problems. You still get triggered. Still make mistakes. You still have days when you want to hide from the world, but something underneath all of this is different. You're not scared anymore, not because life has become safe. It has not. Not because you have all the answer, you don't, but because you have touched something inside yourself that can be shaken. You've touched the part of what was there before the fear, before conditioning, before the story, the part that will be there after all of this gone, and that part called is you. The part that will be there after all of it's gone, and that part call it soul, call it awareness, call it whatever you want. The part is unshakable. The part knows something thinking mind can never know. The part knows you belong here. The part knows you were held. The part knows you are exactly where you're supposed to be, even when it doesn't feel like it. Living awake does not mean finding through life on cloud of bliss. It means being fully here, fully human, fully present to whatever arises. The joy and the sorrow, the success and the failure, the birth and the death. It means saying yes to all of it because you finally trust that all of it belongs. It means no longer needing life to be different than it in order to be okay. And there is a beautiful irony. When you stop needing life to be different, life often starts to flow more freely. The resistance drops, the struggle raise. Things that felt hard before become easier. Not because the circumstances change, but because you change. You stop fighting, you stop clinging, you start letting life live through you instead of constantly trying to control it. This is the gift of awakening, not perfection, not escape, not a life without pain, but the unshakable knowing that you are more than any circumstance, more than any emotion, more than you thought. You are the awakeness. You are the awareness in which all of this arises. And that awareness, that is what you've been looking for along. Here's something you don't always tell about awakening. It's not one-time event. It's not a finish line you cross and then you're done. Awakening is an ongoing process. A spiral you keep climbing and climbing. A depth you keep plunging into and plunging as well. There will be more unravelings, the more dark nights, more death and rebirth, because life keeps growing and growth keeps asking you to let it go of you have been so you can become who you meant to be next. But each time it's different. Each time you have more trust, more capacity, more willingness to surrender because you know, really know that you'll be okay. Not because life has become predictable, but because you've discovered something inside yourself This doesn't depend on your life being predictable. You've discovered that you're okay right now, even in the middle of not knowing, even in the middle of uncertainty, even in the middle of pain. And that discovery changes everything. It doesn't make the hard things easy, but it makes them breakable and bearable. It doesn't take away the grief, but it allows you to grieve without being consumed by grief. It doesn't eliminate fear, but it gives you a place to stand while your fear moves through you. You become the container of all of it, the full range of human experience without being destroyed by any of it. You start to see that awakening is not about becoming someone special, it's about realizing you never were ordinary. It's about recognizing the sacred in mundane, the internal in the everyday, the infinite in the finite. It's about waking up the truth that you are not drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And that ocean has always been there, waiting you to remember. So if you're in the middle of your awakening right now, take heart, take courage, take a deep breath and trust the process. You're not lost. You are not broken. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, becoming exactly you're meant to become. And that becoming messy, painful, beautiful, holy is the whole point. If you're in the middle of your awakening right now, if you're confused, if you're hurting, if you're questioning everything you thought you knew, I want you to hear this one more time. You are not broken. You're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. You're exactly where you need to be. The unraveling is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something real, something true, something has been waiting for you to be ready. And you are readier than you know, readier than you feel, readier than your fears would have you believe. Because readiness is not about having all the answer or feeling completely confident. Readiness is about saying yes, what's emerging, even you cannot see where it's leading. Readiness is about trusting the process even when the process is painful. Readiness is about showing up your own life fully and completely without knowing how it's going to turn out. So show up. Show up for the unraveling. Show up for the dark nights. Show up for the integration and becoming and slowly waking up to who you really are. Show up of all of it, the grief and the grace, the fear and the freedom, the death and the rebirth, because of this is your life. This is your awakening, and it matters more than you know. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up for yourself in whatever way you are able. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review and send a message. Let me know what's stirring in your own awakening. I read every single one, and I'm honored to be walking this path with you. And remember, you're not alone. You have never been alone. You will be never be alone. The same awareness that reading these words, hearing his voice, having this experience, that awareness is connected to everything. That awareness is what you are, and what you are is infinite. What you are eternal, what you are so love itself, waking up itself right here, right now. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time. More to come, people. See you soon.